Talafalava and warm Pacific greetings. Welcome to Connecting Voices, proudly brought to you by Mama's Faleo'o Media, a program where we share stories, celebrate our people, and give a voice to communities. I'm Danielle Posiano, and today we are bringing you coverage from the Rewa community meeting, where community members came together to connect, share, and be a part of important conversations. So let's take a look at today's event.
The Manuwera community meeting brought together Pacific families, community leaders, service providers, and members of the wider community for a day of connection, information sharing, and fellowship. Before today's meeting got underway, we spoke with Esther Tofilao-Tevanga, the New Zealand First candidate for Manuwera.
Good morning, Esther. How are you today?
I'm really good, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Esther shared with us the purpose of today's gathering and the importance of bringing Pacific communities together to discuss the issues that matter most. Let's hear from Esther.
Talofalava Malolo Soifomoa. My name is Esther Tofilao-Tevanga, and I'm your New Zealand First candidate for Manuwera. And my dad is famous Asa Tevanga from the village of Lalomalava, and my mother is Afikasi Tofilau and come from the village of Iva. So I'm a Savai girl. The purpose of today's meeting is called Aso Gafua. I guess this is what you actually do back in Samoa, where the village comes together. So that's exactly what we do each month. The whole community here in Manuwera, and we actually discuss local issues and what's happening and update them. So this is where we give the invitation to the local board and also get everyone just to come and listen and get updated on what's happening.
We also asked Esther about the rising cost of living and the challenges many families continue to face. She encouraged those needing support to reach out to organizations such as Work and Income New Zealand, community service providers, and charitable organizations including the Aso Foundation, where she volunteers.
My advice is we have wins. We have income support there for a lot of the families and other providers that do the mahi and the services as well as Aso Foundation. That's a charitable organisation that I actually volunteer for. So being food packing and distribution of food parcels. So I see the struggle. The struggle is actually real, and that's where we can actually come together and look for solutions in our community and sort of help our families out and so forth. So
Esther also shared her views on the party's vision.
So aligning yourself with a party like New Zealand First, it aligns with my values, our Christian values, our family values. So about putting New Zealand and New Zealanders first, and that's exactly what the party does.
She spoke about the leadership of Right Honourable Vavasa Manaya Winston Peters and explained why she believes his actions and commitment to communities have earned the trust of many New Zealanders. Let's hear what Esther had to say.
We know with Vavasa Manaya, he's done a lot for the Pacific, a lot for New Zealand. So being a Samoan chief as well, action speaks louder than words. We've seen what he's done with the Six Sengi for the Samoan citizenship and support of that with the other leaders, but also receiving the visa, and the funds that he's put into the Pacific region. That really speaks volume that he does care, and he also calls us ainga. So,
as with many Pacific gatherings, the meeting began with a prayer asking for God's guidance and blessings over the day's proceedings.
The Word of God says, unless God builds a house, they labor in vain who build it. And unless the Lord watches a city, they watch in vain who watch over it.
Following the prayer, guests were welcomed in the Samoan way as local Matai greeted those attending in accordance with our cultural traditions. These customs continue to play an important role in bringing our communities together through respect, hospitality, and unity.
Today's meeting brought together people from across the community, and many have shared how encouraged and grateful they were to be part of the event. Let's hear what some of them had to say. Over to our interviewer, Langi.
Good morning, Mama. How are you?
All right, thank you very much.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit of what's going on today?
Today it's always about old people, retired people. It's our day today.
How often does it happen?
Every first Monday of the week of the month. Every first Monday.
And the upcoming election, Mama, who are you supporting this year?
Oh, I'm with Valvasa Manaya Winston Peter now, New Zealand First.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about that? Why New Zealand first?
Oh, talking to Valvasa and New Zealand First, to me their policy is really good for me and really good for my island, Samoa. Especially the free visa, we're trying to get the free visa for our people so they don't waste any more money to apply for any visa. Just get on the plane and come here in New Zealand.
Mama, any last few words to the people that are watching this show?
Yes, to me, all the Samoan community, are you listening or watching the show? Please vote or party vote the New Zealand First.
We appreciate your time, Mama, for today. You have a beautiful day and enjoy today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Many of those attending spoke about the importance of community, supporting one another, and creating opportunities for Pacific families to stay connected. We also spoke with respected Samoan Matais, who shared their thoughts in the Samoan language about leadership and strengthening our communities for future generations. The Matai encouraged unity, respect, and continued service to our communities, reminding us that when we work together, we strengthen not only our families, but future generations as well. Also present at today's meeting was Member of Parliament Dr. David Wilson, who addressed those gathered and shared his thoughts on matters affecting our local communities.
Alofa Lava, Alofa Taliai, Reverend and Reverend Amosa. I'd like to actually start by mentioning something you said, sir, which was, what's your house built upon? And right now, we feel that the house that we have for New Zealand, both socially and economically, has been built on sand. I think we do really need to rebuild this nation. We've been through a terrible time when we first came into Parliament. As you will know, the previous regime had spent an awful lot of money. So much so that now we pay around $9 billion per annum on interest payments only. That's all of us. That's our house. That's on top of what you pay for your individual house. And for us at New Zealand First, we feel right now it's so important to rebuild the house, to rebuild the foundations. Because if you build a house out of the wrong wood in Australia, the little white ants will come in. And that's where the name comes from, white anting. They'll eat the foundations. And then we've had an oil crisis. Well, many in this room will remember the oil crisis in the 70s that led into the 80s. And I know that in the 90s, my first mortgage was 22% mortgage rate. And I remember when my wife and I had to think twice about buying a singlet for our son. That was $12. Many have been through this. You have been through this. And when I think what the Pacific community has been through in coming to this country and helping to build the country, I mean, it is your fathers and your grandfathers that built our energy generation. Help build the dams. Help build the power stations, from which we emerged as one of the most rich countries in the world because we had cheap energy. We've lost control of one of the most fundamental things for New Zealand to rebuild our economy and rebuild our house. That is the cost of energy. Now, the crazy thing is here that we are one of the luckiest countries in the world for the supply of natural green energy. Can you believe that? Hydropower, geothermal power. I looked at a report that just came out recently from Transpower. Transpower is the company owned by the government, owned by you, with all those power lines going across the sky, the great big pylons. That is Transpower. They take the power from the power stations and deliver it all across New Zealand. Then they give it to small lines companies, which take it to your door. All of those lines companies are owned by trusts. That is us. We own the infrastructure. We sold off half of the generation. And then there lies a problem, because the generators also own the retailers which sell you your electricity. This is a problem. Now, it seemed right to Mr. Bradford in the 1990s that this was the way we were going to make our electricity more efficient and less expensive, but it hasn't worked out that way, because the generators, now half owned by the private sector, are selling to themselves. That's why they are called gentailers. They produce the energy, they put it down through our infrastructure, and then sell it to themselves as retailers, who then sell it to you. There's something wrong with this picture, isn't there? And that is just one thing that is affecting our cost of living. A recent report from Transpower, the lines company, which takes note of where all the electricity comes from to supply the country, for the last quarter, 60% of all the energy that they transpowered across the country was from hydro generation. Up to 39% was geothermal. Yes, people find this really hard to believe. It varies a little bit from month to month, from day to day, from week to week. But geothermal was between 39 and 44%. The balance was mainly wind, oil, and gas, around 5 to 10%. We didn't even mention solar. So the crux, the basis of our whole energy sector are the things that we've built already. Now, we can have a discussion about solar energy for your house or even your farm, which are good things. But for the country to grow, we absolutely need to make sure we get the structure right and we own our energy again, and we set the price for the retailers. So the other things that are affecting our foundation are the cost of your supermarket visit, the cost of food. Through the same period, we used to have something like 19 different supermarkets. Basically, we have 2 now that own all the brands of all the supermarkets between them. They're not different, they're the same. There's basically 2. So the cost of our groceries is too high. The cost of our electricity is too high. There's another one there. We want to bring back our bank that we sold. The BNZ is the Bank of New Zealand. Well, at least it used to be in the 1990s until we sold them off. We also sold off the Auckland Savings Bank, the ASB. In the 19s, the Bank of New Zealand owned 56% of all banking in New Zealand. Now it might as well be called the Bank of Australia. It's owned by the Australians. So why does this matter? I can tell you why it matters. The calculation we have done is that every mortgage in this country is paying around 1% in interest too much. Because the four big banks, which own over 85% of the whole banking sector, they charge us a little more for our mortgages than they do in Australia. And there's a really interesting discussion you can have when you look at other countries that have large sovereign wealth. They all own their own bank. And their own bank looks after our wealth for and on behalf of us. We've lost that. This is why we want to buy back the Bank of New Zealand, so that we can build our wealth again, build our prosperity again together. We've got to build our house back from the ground up, the foundations up. Get the cost of living down.
As he concluded his address, Dr. David Wilson left the audience with a simple but powerful message. When asked how we rebuild our homes and our society, his answer was clear. It begins with each one of us. He encouraged everyone to continue supporting one another and expressed his belief that together, communities can build a stronger future.
Well, how do we rebuild our society? How do we rebuild our households? How do we rebuild our economy? And I firmly, firmly believe we can do this. Absolutely firmly believe we can do this. But we need you. And we need the trust to be built with you. And we need your support to help myself, Alfred, Esther, and all the other candidates to get in there and rebuild this country. My wife, when I was called up to be in Parliament, I said to her, do you really want me to do this? Do we really need to push me into Parliament? No, it's not quite that easy. And she turned at me and she looked me straight in the eye and she said, you've got to go. You've got to serve. Now. The country needs you. Get there. The country needs Alfred. The country needs Esther. I have a heart for this. It is all about service. When you get there, you soon realise that. This is not some sweet job, I can tell you. You work hard. Very, very hard. If you ever get the chance to feel the aroha and the serenity and the unity in that place, take it. Thank you very much.
An important part of today's meeting was the opportunity for community members to ask questions directly to both Member of Parliament Wilson and Esther Tofilau'Tevanga. The open question and answer session allowed attendees to raise issues, seek clarification, and discuss matters that were important to them and their families. It encouraged meaningful dialogue between the community and its representatives. Following the formal meeting, guests remained to enjoy a time of fellowship and cultural celebration. As part of the program, Member of Parliament Wilson was invited to join in a traditional Samoan dance, sharing in the warmth, hospitality, and rich culture of the Pacific community. Community organizations were also represented throughout the day. Among those attending was the Chief Executive Officer of Pacifica Healthcare, Ngalu Malimana. She spoke about the organization's commitment to supporting Pacific communities through its services across Manuwera, Weymouth, Clendon, Paptoetoe, with its main office based in Panmure. Her presentation highlighted the importance of accessible healthcare, community well-being, and ensuring Pacific families are aware of the support services available to them. I'm Langitoa Whaimanifo Kioa for Connecting Voices, Mama's Faleo'o Media.
A community event like this wouldn't be possible without the incredible volunteers, long-serving community members, and the catering team who work tirelessly behind the scenes. Let's hear from Sophie, the main caterer of the day. Over to Langi.
Today's event was made possible by a dedicated team of volunteers whose hard work often goes unseen. They generously give their time in service to others, from preparing breakfast and lunch to ensuring everyone felt welcome and cared for throughout the day. We spoke with Sophie, who led the catering team for today's event.
Well, good morning. I'm Sophia Strauss. I'm here today to give my fully support for ASA Foundation for doing all our kitchenware with the food for our seniors here in Manuwera.
How long have you been doing this for, Sophia?
Oh, this was over a year now since we start to come here at the council hall here to do all the entertainment with our senior people. That's my aim, to help them out with my spare time.
Love it. Thank you so much for your time with Mama's Faleo'o Media, and good luck for today.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
As today's gathering came to an end, one message remained clear. When communities come together with a shared purpose, they build stronger relationships, support one another, and create a brighter future for everyone. I'm Langitoa Whaimanifo Kioa for Connecting Voices, Mama's Faleo'o Media.
Thank you so much for joining us on Connecting Voices. I'm Danielle Posiano. We look forward to seeing you again on our next episode. Soifua ma'i manuia.